Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. In this video, I want to talk a little bit more about the millennium and about changes that the church has made, seemingly to prepare for the millennium, especially the first part, when many people are going to be joining the church in the beginning. So I saw this comment here from Gary H. It says, maybe the name of the church will be the Church of Jesus Christ, just like the current church website. He brings that up because if you didn't see that video, we were kind of like talking about what's the church going to be called. It probably won't continue with the name Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because, well, the Latter Days refers to this time that we're in right now before the millennium. So would it be the Church of Jesus Christ of Millennial Saints? Would it be the Church of the Firstborn, right? Because a lot of times that's how you would refer to the people of the city of Enoch, and they're going to come down. So maybe it'll be the Church of the Firstborn, and that very well could be. But this is another interesting possibility, simply the Church of Jesus Christ. And what interested me is the fact that he brings up that the church changed the website from LDS.org to churchofjesuschrist.org. And there was a miracle that made that happen. So let's just do a quick little review of how this all happened. Here's the church website now, churchofjesuschrist.org, right? You can still use LDS.org, but it'll just redirect you to this. Okay, so April 2020, President Russell M. Nelson said this. Okay, this is in opening the heavens for help, April 2020. As we commemorate the event that was launched in 1820, it is important to remember that while we revere Joseph Smith as a prophet of God, this is not the Church of Joseph Smith, nor is it the Church of Mormon. This is the Church of Jesus Christ. He decreed exactly what his church should be called. Quote, "For thus shall my church be called in the last days, even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints." And the footnote takes you to D&C section 115, verse 4. That's where we find that. I've spoken previously about a needed course correction in the way we refer to the name of the church. Since that time, much has been done to accomplish this correction. I'm very grateful to President M. Russell Ballard and the entire Quorum of the 12 Apostles who have done so much to lead these efforts, as well as those related to another initiative that I will announce this evening. And then the footnote for this, he talked about this all the way back in October of 2018. Interesting because that was the beginning of his presidency. It was still within the first year since he became prophet. Again, if he was given any sort of like 5-year warning or something, if it was given to him right off the bat, then this may have been one of the priorities that the Lord had, that he instructed him to, okay, now we really need to focus on the correct name of the church. I don't know. Continuing on, church leaders and departments, related entities, and millions of members and others now use the correct name of the church. The church's official style guide has been adjusted. The church's principal website is now churchofjesuschrist.org. So it's fascinating if what they're planning here is for this to be the name of the church, if that's what the plan is in the millennium. And we happen to have, now we have this, right? Just simply churchofjesuschrist.org. Very recognizable to anyone that's not a member of the church. And if you're Christian and you're post Second Coming and you're looking for the true church, or you realize that this really is Christ's church, it might comfort you that the name of the church's website is churchofjesuschrist.org. This is, of course, assuming that the internet will still be around. We don't really know the details of what's going to remain, but I can see the internet still being around. Anyway, addresses for email, domain names, and social media channels have been updated. We have gone to these extraordinary efforts because when we remove the Lord's name from the name of his church, we inadvertently remove him as the central focus of our worship in our lives. Previously, I promised that if we would do our best to restore the correct name of the Lord's church, he would pour down his power and blessings upon the heads of the Latter-day Saints, the likes of which we have never seen. I renew that promise today. So this was a big deal. Now there's more to it than that. There's some more details about this. This is a talk by Elder Neil L. Andersen, October 2021 General Conference. Under this section of the talk called "The Lord Always Opens the Way," he says, "The Lord always keeps his promises. He opens the way for us as we do his work. For years, we had hoped to purchase the internet domain sites churchofjesuschrist.org and churchofjesuschrist.com. Neither was for sale. But the time of President Nelson's announcement, both were suddenly available. It was a miracle." So that's kind of interesting, right? It's interesting that that just suddenly came available as the prophet is saying that we need to focus on the correct name of the church. There's a footnote for this part. It says the church's intellectual property office had been monitoring the domain name of churchofjesuschrist.org since 2006. Let's go back to 2006. 2006 would have put us during the presidency of Gordon B. Hinckley. Okay, so ever since the time of Gordon B. Hinckley, they've been watching this website, this domain. This was actually a year before the first smartphone came out, the Apple iPhone. So they've been really watching this. All right, let's go back. And it had not been available. It was remarkable that it was offered for sale about the same time as President Nelson's announcement, and the church purchased the domain name at a very modest amount. In the same manner, the church had begun monitoring the status and availability of the domain name churchofjesuschrist.com since 2011. Surprisingly, it too became available in August 2018 and was also purchased. So that's interesting. Let's test that out. Let's go over here, put in .com. It doesn't take you anywhere. So I guess they just wanted to have that reserved. I don't know. But there's something kind of to it. There's something kind of to it. The church has never had, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.org. I don't believe. We'll see if that comes up with anything. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Wow, that's a lot to type. No, it doesn't take you anywhere. Anyway, as far as I can remember, it's always been LDS.org. So, again, it's perfect for the Millennium, and especially if this is the name that the church is going to go with. Continuing, it says the website, LDS.org, which received more than 21 million visits each month, was transitioned to churchofjesuschrist.org. Footnote 16. In the October 2018 General Conference, President Nelson said, and then we read that. Well, no, we didn't read that part. Brothers and sisters, there are many worldly arguments against restoring the correct name of the church. Because of the digital world in which we live, and with search engine optimization that help us all find the information we need almost instantly, including information about the Lord's church, critics say that a correction at this point is unwise. I promise you that if we will do our best to restore the correct name of the church, of the Lord's church, he whose church this is, will pour down his power and blessings upon the heads of the Latter-day Saints. Since the transition of LDS.org to churchofjesuschrist.org, the domain authority, the ability and power of a site to rank in search engines, so the domain authority is stronger than it was previously. For example, the churchofjesuschrist.org homepage is now, and has been for more than a year, the top search result in the United States on Google when someone searches for the term church, where previously it cannot claim that distinction. That's pretty incredible. That is pretty incredible. So a miracle attended this. It's actually brought in more traffic, um, in contrast and in contradiction to worldly wisdom about this subject. So it's kind of a big deal. And then to wrap this up, um, this is kind of how other churches viewed it. Not a big fan of this website, RNS Religion News Service, because anytime I come across an article from here, it usually portrays the church in a negative light. New LDS new LDS domain name may spark brand war over Church of Jesus Christ. Last August, Latter-day Saints embraced their prophet's mandate to use the faith's official name. Outside researchers and reporters respected the religion's right to self-identity, and many strived to follow its preferred style guide, some even eschewing the popular term Mormon to describe the 16 million members. Recently, though, the Utah-based church replaced its official website, lds.org, with a new domain name, simply churchofjesuschrist.org, without the Latter-day Saints ending. A move some Christians find confusing, curious, or downright offensive. After all, scores of churches have Christ in their names, and many online domains are very similar, or are similar as well. Consider the national and international denominations: United Church of Christ, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, and Church of God in Christ. There are similar congregations such as Church of Jesus Christ in Washington, D.C., the Church of Jesus Christ in Kingsport, Tennessee, the Church of Jesus Christ in Peridot, Arizona, the Church of Jesus Christ in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and the list goes on. Several are even offshoots of the mainstream LDS Church and track their origins to Mormonism's founder, Joseph Smith. And then it says some of these. Besides mistaking one group for another, there's the question of priestly authority. In recent years, the church has not, quote unquote, honked about that so much, says Reverend Jeffrey R. Silliman, a lifelong Utahn and former pastor at Mount Olympus Presbyterian Church in Mill Creek. Silliman was okay with Latter-day Saints using the full name of their church more often, he says, to help others recognize their connection to Christ. But the new domain name, Silliman says, quote unquote, offends me. Quote, it accentuates that the rest of us are not the Church of Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. Come on with it. Like, we just went over these like different names of churches that their name, you could make that same argument about whatever, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. Like, oh, are you trying to say that we're not Christian too? United Church of Christ, whatever. Okay, all right, fine. For his part, Richard Mao, President Emeritus of the Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California, finds it hard, quote unquote, to get worked up over this. Okay, well, he has the right view, I think. Many churches, Mao explains, own labels expressing identities that the rest of us also claim. For example, he says, I consider myself Orthodox. Catholic is a good term, Mao says, for anyone who sees herself/himself as a member of the Universal Church. So Latter-day Saint authorities, says the religious scholar, author of Talking with Mormons, an invitation to evangelicals, are not doing anything particularly offensive simply by employing this label. Of all those other churches, though, purposely send signals with their nomenclatures. And then it kind of goes on. So you can see it's ruffled some feathers and whatever, but you can see how this is better than LDS.org. It's been better in terms of traffic to the church website. It's better for recognition in putting Christ as the central focus in our iconography, or the church's style guide, just the aesthetic of the church, the way that it's perceived. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting, especially if this becomes the name of the church during the millennium. If it's not the Church of the Firstborn, if it's simply the Church of Jesus Christ. And that very well could be. And this is just another thing that's been prepared for that time, potentially. All right, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.